Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Today's discussion is going to be changing yourself and changing the people around you. Um, to me, that's the hardest thing that people do is they know they have to make a change, but they don't want to really go through the real work to make the change. And that means you got to change the people around you too.
Right.
And that could cause a lot of issues, especially if you realize what you have to do. If you got a lot of bums around you, it should be easy. But I'm saying that and them doing it is two different things because I know they're a bum and you
Right.
know they're a bum. But you're like, you know what? I know these bums
Yeah.
and I know that I'm comfortable around them.
And
But
I enjoy them. I enjoy it to a certain extent, right? I enjoy the lifestyle that I've engaged in for however long or however amount of time that I've engaged in this lifestyle. To a certain extent, I find pleasure. Or I enjoy myself to a certain extent here,
mm-hmm,
and that's why I've been here in this place for as long as I have.
mm-hmm,
Right. So when we speak um of that change, a lot of us are mindful that sometimes you have to be uncomfortable in order for there to be change. So when you see the person who can, find some bit of pleasure or comfort or happiness in their situation, and then you're like, but why, if there's this wrong and then there's that wrong, why can't they change?
mm-hmm.
Normally, you don't change from something that's comfortable or
Nope.
pleasurable. So as long as whatever you're doing feels something that we can label as pleasurable, happiness, comfort, it's hard to change. Absolutely.
And that hinders growth.
Well, yeah, yeah.
And then people complain about, well, you know what? I'm not happy where I'm at, and I don't know what I can do. And really, you do know what you should do. You just
Mhm.
don't have the guts to do it.
Yeah, because it's like the small bits of gratification,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not necessarily instant gratification, right? You went to work, you worked for 2 weeks, and then you got, a paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, to you, you're not as happy as you could be because perhaps you want a larger paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you still got paid, and you put in a decent amount of work, and the work wasn't anything that was instant, so you know that you did what you at least was taught to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not too, you know, unhappy there, right? I could do better.
You could do better. And the thing is, at what point do you realize you're in a rut? Just in life, a rut that you kind of go into the motion. You get up every morning, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you do what you do. You talk to the same people, you go to the same job, and you're like, I want better.
Mhm.
But you just like you don't want to take the chance to do better because that means you're going to take work to do better.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. So that's a hard one. How do we realize when we're in a rut in life, right? And
yeah,
it's, I mean, we're gonna always struggle to identify that because I think for a man and a woman, is it a little bit different when we realize that we in that rut?
for a guy, we pretty much know. We kind of it gets we settle. You get up. It's a routine. You get
Mhm.
up. Like I said, you get up, take a shower, get yourself ready, go to work, do what you got to do, come home. It just becomes norm.
Okay.
But you know in your head like it's got to be more than this.
Mhm.
But you're so comfortable, like you said, comfortable with what's going on. But because if I change it, then how's that going to upset the apple cart? How's that going to make me feel? But as you said before, growth is uncomfortable, and I think as we progress in this journey called life, there is a point where you kind of say, I'm cool with this. But for me, you always got to keep striving to become better,
Mhm.
because that's how years pass you by. You got the same old deadbeat friends. You're cool with them because you know them. Uncle Boo Boo and your boy Tay Tay and them, they're funny. They're
Yeah.
good dudes. But
Yeah.
would you take Tay Tay to a function, to maybe some sort of functional black tie affair? If you say, hey, bring some of your boys to that particular type of affair, would you bring them?
Mhm.
Hell
Mhm.
no. Because
Mhm.
Tay Tay ain't that type of person that deals with that type of environment. He's
Right.
cool right here, we're kicking it, maybe at the barber shop or some liquor store or somewhere, McDonald's parking lot or whatever. But I'm not gonna have that dude roll with me when I'm talking to somebody else at a different level, and you know it's a different level. Because if you didn't know, you were like, "Oh, well, come on." But
Yeah, you
don't,
would have thought of him immediately.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And we just have to somehow say, you know what? We can't be happy with status quo, because eventually status quo is going. You're gonna turn around and look and say, "Damn, I've been doing the same damn thing for years, and I'm not progressing. I'm getting older, but I'm not progressing." And then you have people, naysayers that you surround yourself. Let's say you try to do something different.
Right.
Those same people that you hang with, gonna say, "Oh, why you want to do different? Ain't you cool? You happy? Look, you got a job. You got this. You got that." And after a while, they don't want you to move. Why? Because they understand if you move, then you may not be in that same under that same umbrella anymore.
Yeah, and in order to, continue to hang out with me, at some point, I'm going to expect you to step up to the bar, right? Step up your game just as much as I am. Because, you're hanging out with the people who you almost consider yourself with as equal, right? When you think about who you surround yourself with in grade school, right? High school, those are the people who you kind of feel like they're just as equal as you are. They can run around and play and do exactly what you can do, even in your college years. So the very idea that you wouldn't want to keep that status quo up, so to speak, as you get older and progress through life, it's a little bit of a weird concept.
Yeah. How do women handle that? I mean, do you retain? Now, from what I hear, women don't have really close relationships.
So that's where you kind of see the woman who kind of has the group of ladies, right? Different sets of friends, in my opinion. And for the most part, I think we're okay with us having different sets of friends.
Okay.
You always have that very close set of friends that transition anywhere you go,
Okay.
right? They're the girls who probably been down with you the longest, but they truly are transitional, so to speak. Like, so if you do need them to kind of dress up and play the part, they will literally just play the part for that night.
Okay.
Don't give them too much to drink because they'll crack under pressure. Like, because they are just playing that
Oh,
part.
that's true.
And they
that's
can
true.
keep it up just for a little bit, but you do know that if it came down to it, there are a certain set of friends that you've acquired along the way that represent, a certain side of you. So when it's time to show that off, you know who to call. You know the few to call. Because you're not going to call them all up for every old thing. There's certain friends that you probably don't even want to take back home around the way, quote unquote.
Oh, that's true.
Because they'll be,
Yeah.
you're like, girl, please. But you don't mind her because she's your friend. But you also kind of cater to her where she technically belongs, and vice versa, right? They'll treat you the same exact way. And in our opinion, we're not making anybody be anything that you're not or don't want to be. Just love me for who I am as a
Okay.
friend. Take me as I am, and I'll take you right for who you are as well.
Okay. Okay.
But don't be upset when I don't invite you to certain things because you know that you don't fit there. Yes.
Now, here's another question. Let's say you get to a point now where you have to make changes in your personal life. You look around, you say, "Listen, I'm about to do some things that it's going to take me totally out of my comfort zone, and my friends may not understand what I'm going through, but I have to go through this."
Yeah.
Would you explain to them what you're going through, or you just be going through what you're going through and allow them to kind of see the metamorphosis of where you're trying to go?
It depends on the person and the type of support that you already know they're going to be able or not able to give to you. If you feel like you have to draw away from, a certain group of people, you'd probably just blame it on something else,
Mhm.
right? Like, I kind of have to do this because of work,
Mhm.
or, I'm kind of going through something because of me and my, guy friend or boyfriend. We love to blame stuff.
Yep.
The men don't necessarily hide behind their lady friends as a transition, but that's technically our favorite. Is to pretend
Okay.
like, oh, me and babe is going through something, or, me and my love wants
Oh
to try to do
Lord.
something different. We're trying something different with our finances, so we're not.
Okay.
Or you might
Okay.
not see me for a year because, I'm going to stop answering my phone because I'm technically bunned up. So you just think I've stopped answering because I got a new guy type of thing. But I probably went back to school and, instead of me saying, girl, I ain't really got time for you and all your nonsense and shenanigans, I'll probably just transition into a new set of friends, as I should be,
Yes.
because I don't have time to pick up the phone and talk to you because I'm studying, and then I'm out on my study group with these new people, and
Mhm.
eventually these new people, after we're done with the study group, we'll go out to get something to eat, and eventually we'll create bonds
Mhm.
and form new friendships and continue on to our next journey in life. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that I don't love that person I left behind. It's just where I'm going to and headed, you didn't necessarily get on the bus with me, and that's okay.
That's
I,
true.
I love you still, but when I look to my left and I look to my right, you're just not there anymore,
Mhm.
and I'm okay with that.
Cool. Now, here's I'm going to go here now.
Mhm.
That's cool with friends. What happens when it comes to family? How do you handle that when you know you're about to go through some changes, and then you
Mm.
got your family involved? You have to tell them, or they you may have to. There may be an issue. They
Mhm.
may be
I
the
gotta
issue you're
think on
trying to.
this one. Keep on going.
Yeah, they may be the issue that you have to deal with because
Mhm.
again, I go back to an earlier discussion when I said people you're brought up a certain way, and however you're brought up, you're brought up. But when you get to a point and say, I have to make a change,
Mhm.
that means you may have to go back and tell the same people who raised you that you didn't raise me correctly. Be honest with them, and they
Mhm.
may not take that too well.
Yeah.
So you may have to walk away from them to do what you need to do. How do you
Mhm.
feel about that?
Ah, man, we gonna pray on that one that love conquers all, right? I mean,
Yep.
cause in these situations, sometimes you don't separate and engage in the growth out of love, right?
Mhm.
Because what I want to say is if I sat my mama down, if I sat my daddy down, if I sat whoever
Mhm.
you're growing away from or apart from, if I was able to sit them down and have a rational conversation about what I'm going through, where I came from, and where I'm headed, and that was all done out of love,
Mhm.
then maybe, we'd get something different.
Mhm.
But normally, that growth comes out of anger and an
Ye-
incident and
yes.
or some type of occurrence.
Mhm.
And so that's why I started off by saying prayerfully love conquers all, because I don't know. We just hope that when it's all said and done, that who's ever all parties involved are able to find themselves right back to family,
Yes.
because the beginning of it all and the end of it all, that's still your family. You
Now
can let go of the friends.
that's true. Now here's we're going to have a little deviation. For me, family and relatives are two different things.
Let me
Uh,
hear about it.
for relatives, you really have no say in it. You just pop up, and that's your uncle, such and such, your aunt, blah blah blah. That's your mom, your dad, and all the other people pieces associated with that. To me, they are relatives until they become family. They're not family off the top, and that's
Okay.
over years of kind of going through some things. Family is going to be there through thick and thin. Um, they're going to support you in whatever you do. They may not like it, but they're going to support you. Relatives they're just there. They're
Mhm.
not really. They're going to just be there. They're related to you, but there's really no other connection other than blood. So I always say I have relatives, gang of them.
Right.
Family, handful of
Mhm.
them. And I think once people kind of realize that delineation, they can move forward in their lives and decisions that they make. But they feel like, well, I can't. That's my cousin, so I really can't, treat them this way. Oh yeah, you can.
I don't really know, Malcolm, because the relative side to me, it sounds like as you grow, they would just be the people who just kind of hear about it through the mail. So they wouldn't count.
They
Like, so
wouldn't.
if I'm graduating or if I'm had a baby, they'd get an announcement card in the mail. They
Oh,
not
you gonna give them an
necessarily,
announcement card?
even if that's what I'm saying. They're not necessarily even
Oh,
getting
okay.
an invitation to the baby shower. They just kind of heard about it through Facebook type of thing.
True. But think about you. Okay, for instance, you got a lot of cousins you grew up with,
Yeah.
and now would you consider all of them? Well, they're related to you, but would you consider all of them family in the term that I use, family, or just relatives? As you grow up, you grow up
You
together.
trying to disrespect all my cousins?
Hell yeah!
Come on,
Listen,
man. That's my
if them,
family.
that's your relative. Those are relatives. Listen, if those Bamas, if you don't know, listen, there's Bamas I grew up with, and again, love them to death, but
Right.
they're relatives to me
Yes.
because we ain't closer than I know their name, I know their mama name, and all
Yeah.
that.
We talk once or twice a year.
Yeah, family
Okay.
reunions, funerals,
Okay.
maybe pass in church, maybe now and then on
Try
the
to
street
make
or
us
something
all
like that.
distant. We not that distant, but we just not that close.
We ain't
either.
that close. We ain't that close at all. We related. But then
Yeah.
you got the ones who you grew up with, and there's a connection that happens, and
Mhm.
those are ones that you find yourself still talk to.
Mhm.
Here's
The
an
ones you raise
example,
your kids with.
and the ones your kids know about,
Mhm.
because again, you know the relatives are the ones you talk to them like, hey, how you doing? Fine, and you? That's
Mhm.
good.
You introduce your kids every time y'all see each
Yeah,
other.
every time. That's
Okay.
why he grown. Yeah, you haven't seen him in 8 years, so yeah, I guess he has
Mhm.
grown since the last time we saw him at 1. Now he's 9. Yeah, he is growing,
Mhm.
and pretty much that's it. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I hope everybody. How's our sisters doing? How about? And then you,
Yeah, those the type. That's what I'm saying. Those people, are we growing away from them because they never get that close to us?
no, we don't.
Yeah.
And the saddest thing is, by being that way for whatever reason. I mean, it could be you look at life differently. They could be it's street people. They love living in the streets, and I ain't that street person. I'm about the books and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That could be the difference. It could be
Okay.
you live a certain lifestyle. I don't.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't invite you to my house.
Yeah.
If I see you, I'm gonna holler at you, but I'm not gonna ask you where you live at and all that stuff. I'm gonna get your phone number. We always say, it's bad we see each other only this, and you're like, yeah, you're
But
right,
y'all
you're right.
always say it.
You always,
Don't
you're
do
right.
nothing about it.
No, nothing.
Never exchange the phone
Nope,
number.
never, and
Yeah.
you're not going to. And then there's family members who you don't talk to every day, but when you talk to them, it's like you just talked to them yesterday. You could may not
Mhm.
talk to them in 8 months, but
Mhm.
you talk to them 8 months later, it's like you just saw them yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's the connection you would have.
But see, that's the connection that when you grow away from family, that when you make your way back,
Mm-hmm.
that's that love conquers all thing, right? So whatever happened in between us, whatever falling out, whatever I had to do or you had to do in pursuit of your next step in life,
Mm-hmm.
we have that connection,
Mm-hmm.
and that when we make our way back to each other, we still just as connected.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like I said, this journey called life is unique because you have to make a lot of decisions that just not gonna make people happy. And I think a lot of people don't make decisions because of not because they don't want to make the decision, it's because they in their head say, well, if I do this, how are people gonna look at me? How they gonna react to me? How they going to, I know I need to change, but I don't want to change so much that I lose my comfort. Well,
Mhm.
you have to because that's how you grow, is to become uncomfortable. But that's why a lot of people can't grow now, and then they keep blaming other people why they can't grow. Like, if it wasn't for this or wasn't for that, I'd be.
I mean, it's the very idea that some people think that they're going to lose their roots, so to speak,
Wow.
right? They forget that
Wow, they're gonna lose their roots because they're making a change.
they forget where they come from, so to speak.
Oh,
that
you mean
whole
that.
idea. Yeah, no, you forget where you come from. You kind of go from being, a modest around the way person to being bougie, or now you've become distant. When life opens up your eyes to certain things, you start protecting yourself differently.
Yes.
So when people start, saying you grew away as opposed to, you just kind of grew up,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes life opens up your eyes and tells you, no, you better protect yourself, because as you grew up, you started acquiring things that other people want. And
Yes.
that means now you need to kind of protect yourself. And sometimes that means that no, you do still go back to mom's house for the cookouts as opposed to hosting them at your own home, which may be a little, larger and more comfortable for everybody. But
Uh huh.
you don't really need everybody in your home.
No, you don't. You really don't, and that's
Hmm.
unfortunate though, because
It is.
that also kind of weakens a lot of the bonds we have. Because and I go back to the point when I was growing up. When I was growing up, everybody was broke.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody had no money.
Mhm.
Everybody was on the same ship.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that point of someone's better than or they have a little bit more money than you. So we all were, all our cousins, we're all the country. We all were dressed the same way. Down there in the country, just having a ball. Because again, nobody had nothing
Yeah.
in the context of what we have today. But let somebody get $1. Oh Lord, they're the best thing. They think they're better than everybody in the family, but you ain't really making no money.
Mhm.
But that just kind of goes back to what, who do you? If money is what makes you think you're better than someone, or that you're another level than someone,
Mhm.
that pretty tells me you're pretty shallow. Because if you're looking at the money aspect of it, because I know quite a few people like, I got this, this, and this, and then really in a bigger scheme of things, you ain't really got nothing. But they just, want to say I'm better than, or I went here, I went there. That don't impress me. And I work
Yeah.
here and I work there. That don't impress me. But I know a lot of people, they wrap their whole life. If you ask, who are you? Oh,
Mhm.
I own this, or I own that.
See ya.
All right, see ya. I own this and I own that and I got
Bye.
this. And, in the whole bigger scheme of thing, I don't really care what you got. I don't
Yeah.
really care. My thing is, who
Well,
are you as a person?
well, first of all, how we introduce ourselves. What's your name and what do you do for a living? We've
That's
created it to where what you do for a living kind of defines who you are.
that's pretty bad.
Right? If
That
you
is
think about
really,
it,
really
when you
bad.
enter a room full of strangers, how we break the ice is we first start off with our names,
Mm-hmm.
and then most of the times it's what you do for a living.
Wow.
And that's the money piece of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever occupation you list off, then we kind of gauge your salary in the back of our mind, right? So
That's true. That is
we
very
start
true.
gauging
Like,
the salary, and then also like your level of intellect to get into that job or
yeah,
position or that career field.
that's true.
And so you really do start to get defined by money. So yeah,
And that's unfortunate, because
it
then
is.
that kind of goes back to how you view people. You
Mhm.
don't that person may be a sanitation engineer or garbage man by another
No, I
name.
like sanitation engineer. We
Okay.
go. I love it.
They're a sanitation engineer, and you look at them like, you pick garbage up all day long. Well, hey, it's money in garbage.
Absolutely.
It's really money. But that even goes how we view people, how we
Mhm.
look at people based on what you do,
Yes.
and how you treat them based on what they do.
Mhm.
Which is kind of like, you have to look at people anyone who treats someone a certain way based on what they do. You have to think to yourself like, oh, if I was in that person's situation, would they treat me that way?
Yeah.
But you don't think about better than me, because
Yeah.
I know I ain't like that. But again, as this pandemic has shown you, you could be riding high in that 6-figure job, and next thing you know, you at Denny's
Yeah.
bringing food to the
Yeah.
table.
Because your job is not needed anymore.
Exactly. So now it's a self worth that goes back to
Yeah.
knowing your worth,
Yeah.
knowing your self worth, and I think a lot of people really don't. They really don't know what they're worth. Their
Mhm.
worth, everybody's worth. Let me just say this: everybody's worth something. You're not worth less. You're worth something. But you can't allow society to tell you, because you're only making this amount of money, that amount of money, you ain't worth. You don't need that
In
kind of
other
person.
words, you're following someone else's path or needs in life to define who you are. We all need to make and earn a living, but that's not supposed to define you along the way. And it's certainly not supposed to stop you from doing the things that you kind of love to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which are supposed to define, who you are in life.
That is so true,
Yeah.
because when you have to deal with people again, and I go back to Kevin Samuels. He was talking about the high value and all that. To me, that's just kind of I won't say the tip of the iceberg, but it's kind of like it's another discussion. To me, it's more of what's your self worth. You shouldn't. I shouldn't need a woman making six figures to make me feel good about myself, or striving for a person with six figures.
It's like why are we defining the high value man the way that we are?
Exactly.
Because perhaps it's our definition that we have off. Because why wouldn't I want a high valued man? And why wouldn't I consider myself a high valued woman?
And
That's
think about
bizarre.
it. Yeah. Well,
why wouldn't I with the best?
yeah, exactly. To be honest, there was something that came out in Google, and it said 6% of all Americans make over $100,000 a year.
Oh wow.
6.
Yeah.
So if you're saying I want a high value guy, which if you say I want somebody making six figures, there's only 6%. Now, of that 6%, that's overall. Now, if you start to really narrow it down to African Americans and guys who are unmarried and guys who are gay, guys who, that number drops way, 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 way down to maybe, I don't know, 2%, maybe.
Okay.
So to me, it's not even feasible to say that you can even get a high value, using that quotation, man, because there's not that many of them. So it's almost like, why do we put so much emphasis in money than to say, hey, why don't I find me a good dude, a good guy, and
who is financially responsible? Because to me, I think we covered this in our very first show when we spoke about, how money just runs out. And when you spend to the max, when your household is just spent all the way, I don't care if you make 10 grand a month, $5,000 a month. If your household bills are what you make or more than what you make, you're still in the rat race.
Very true.
So it is a crazy idea that we put so much emphasis on what someone else would consider to be the high valued man.
Yeah,
that's a bizarre concept.
It really is. To me, it should be more of a guy who's I would consider a good guy. He works hard every day. He's trying to do the best he can, and all he really needs is some support. I mean, guys in general just want to feel like, hey, someone supports me and loves me.
Yeah.
We won't never say it, but we just appreciation from the hard work and everything. But if you're a guy who's like that and you keep running to the same type of chick who just want to use you constantly because, you can't, you allow them to.
It's the very idea of how we raise and groom people, right? Your parents don't just give and give and give to you for the sake of you giving nothing in return.
True.
So how can we go into a relationship and pour anything into the relationship without getting something back in return? So for the man to show up for the woman and give whatever he is given, whether it be money, whether it be his energy, whether it be his attention, and then he feels like nothing is given back. No, that's a problem because there's no relationship where someone takes that is natural, right?
Yes.
Where you're just the taker in the relationship. Because ultimately, the thing that you're taking from, if it's not feeding that, it dies.
True.
And so whatever you're taking from, you always have to give something back to it to keep that relationship going, right? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's and I think that goes back to we really got to have a real conversation on what are we really looking for. I mean, for women, what are you really looking for in a guy? Are you just using for a guy that's just going to take care of you, or a guy you really want to get in a relationship with and say, hey, I can help him. We can help each other grow. I think there's so many games that are played in the beginning because, again, like we said before in the very first one, you look good, I look good. Okay, outside of that, where are we going? And you know how people stay in relationships for years and don't even know where they're going. Just together. We travel all the time. We do things together. We're all over the place. We do this, that, and other thing. We got a house. People have bought houses together, ain't married.
Oh,
People do this. They get into. They do everything but get
that's
married.
interesting. Everything but marriage.
Everything but marriage.
Nah, that's. I don't know. That's almost like we grew two separate trees instead of one, so to speak.
Yes.
You know, we were definitely there, and we were definitely growing, but did we grow together or did we just coexist? Because generally speaking, I would want a man to intertwine himself so heavily into my life that if he's no longer, I'm just keeping it real here. I'm just gonna keep it real. That when he leaves, you know, oh, I'm gonna notice it. Oh, I want to be uncomfortable. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If my man is not present and I have done something to where he's like, oh no, she need to get herself, because women, sometimes we gotta get ourselves together. Okay? But we should have grown just a relationship where, and vice versa. Because if he lets me go as well, I'm going to want to know that, oh, he's coming up short in several places because we're so intertwined in each other's lifestyles that, you know, on that random Sunday morning where, you know, it's a holiday and you know, his mom knows Tamara comes through and does X, Y, and Z. And, you know, he thought he was carrying me. Oh, now his mother going to remind him that, where's your girl at? Where's Tamara at? And vice versa. You know, my dad's going to be out there on the barbecue thinking that, you know, my guy is supposed to be carrying that bag of briquettes over. And guess who's not there?
Yeah.
You know, because we should have been growing together to where we intertwined our lives in such a way that when one of us is missing, the other one feels it.
Yes.
I want to feel that he's not present. That's just me.
I would
That's
think so.
That's just me. I want him to have a little bit of dependency on me, and I would like to have some on him.
I agree. I do agree because, again, if that's the case, then, you know, to be honest, at that point, you should have much more of a commitment at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than just going through the motion of.
Because you just said we were buying a house together.
We're buying a
Some
house
people
together.
buy
And you still ain't married.
home together. And that's where it's like, did we choose to not grow together? Was that a choice that we said, you know what, we're going to cultivate our lifestyles separately, but just keep the financial burden of things together? Like, did we come together just to, like, ease a financial burden?
Wow.
Because in today's lifestyle, living is very burdensome to a lot of people. Just something as basic as rent.
Yes.
I saw a post on Facebook that said rent got a lot of people staying together nowadays.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so
That's
for a
true.
man to have someone go half on the bills, first of all, for women.
Yes.
For women.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because a lot of us, I'm sure I'm not even trying to pay half.
Nope.
You know how women are.
We ain't trying to pay nothing.
I could do the light bill and electricity.
I buy the food.
Like,
I buy some. I buy some nacho chips. I got that. I got something on that.
I got groceries and the insurance. Which way we going? Because we doing this together now. But the men even be like okay to that because that's some bit of the burden that has been lifted when we decide to cohabitate. But is that supposed to have been the reason that we got together, or were we supposed to come together because we had opted to grow together?
And that's when communication is going to be key because it changes. Because, again, situations start off one way and it navigates, go to another direction. But along the way, you need to communicate that.
Yeah.
And for men, we're just not going to talk. We're just going to as long as ain't no issues. And, you know, we don't hear
as long as there
no issues. We don't hear a damn thing unless it's like blah, 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 money. What
that's
money?
Simple. Just simple.
Yeah.
Just simple men.
That's just
As
simple,
long
guys.
as there are no issues, that I'm all right.
I'm good. As long as I can come home and turn the TV on. Oh, wait a minute. The electric off? How the electric go? Because in his head, it's like everything should be good. Because
Yeah.
I took care of this, took care of that. Everything should be, we should be on point.
Yeah.
But at some point, we could be, I'm speaking for not all men, some men become very comfortable with that lifestyle.
Mhm.
So as long as you don't ask for, what we're doing, I'm good.
Yeah.
Now, when you start saying what we're doing, now, I probably never even thought about it. I might have thought about it in the beginning, but
Mhm.
now it's going on pretty smooth. Well, I ain't going to rock the boat. I'm going to go ahead and ride with this.
Uh-huh.
So it's up to you, for you guys to say what we're doing.
To make a certain requirement.
Yeah, because you should not be having kids, getting married, all this stuff, ain't got no papers.
No.
None. And then
Okay.
you're like, well, what we doing? Well, you already did it. You talk about you already got you got
Now,
babies.
what we doing though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Are we
and
gonna walk down this
see,
aisle now
and
that
watch-
I done did it all?
There you go. And then now, when all that happens, and you
Uh-huh.
ask him that question, watch the look on his face. Yep. What? What you talking?
'Cause we already did it all.
We already did it. So why you complicated it? Why what? Now again, that means it's so crazy because in our heads like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
And you gotta ask yourself, you've already gone through the process. You living together, been living together, got kids, everything's all intertwined, electric bill in everybody's name, and so what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do different?
And it's up to you guys to put a time limit on. I said, I can't. We've been together 8 years. How much longer are you gonna take for you to give me a ring, or make this?
I mean, I'm trying to get my finances in order though.
How long are you gonna take you?
That's the thing.
How long is that gonna take? Oh, girl, you know what? I could buy you a ring, but my money ain't right. We just bought this thing. We just got this. We got that.
Yeah.
You're gonna want a big ring.
Yeah. Oh, you want a big house? I
Yes.
gotta get the down payment together for that. That's
There
gonna
you
take
go.
us some time.
We got to take time to do all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people run into issues when they realize that, damn, I'm tired myself up a lot with this person. Family know him, relatives know him, everybody know him, girlfriends know him, everybody know him. But y'all ain't doing, when you gonna make this, up and up. And to be honest, for me, it'd be like, listen, we can just go to justice of the peace. But women they don't want justice. No.
Here y'all go again, being simple. That was the simple option.
Yes.
Let's just go wake up on a Thursday morning and go to the justice of peace.
There you go. Because
Yeah.
why we perpetrating? We already got a family. We got bills on our name. We got everything on our name right now. So why I got to go in and
We don't have no nice photos.
Okay, I tell you what. we go stand by some pool or stand out and go somewhere or for vacation and take some pictures.
That's not enough. My dad has to walk me down the aisle.
Okay, where was your dad when we was building this
Yeah,
house and and doing all this other stuff? Where was daddy at that point?
I would like to be traditional now.
Oh, they won't be traditional.
Yeah, now I'm gonna be traditional.
After we got
Yeah.
babies
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
house and everything. So now we gonna walk back. So you want to wear a white dress?
Absolutely, I want to wear a white dress. Absolutely.
You mean not an off-white,
Oh,
not a black
no.
one or purple
My
one?
dress is not going to be no off-white. I'm coming in there pretending to be pristine. Yes, I am.
Oh,
Pardon
Lord.
me.
See,
Pardon me.
okay, so and so at that point,
You don't like the idea that the modern woman is okay with having children before marriage and still wearing the white dress? Is that what you're saying?
I think
You're a white dress hater? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not trying to be. I'm just gonna say, based on how we were brought up, that the white dress meant purity. It meant that you was gonna walk down the aisle to this untouched virgin, this beautiful creation of God who's just gonna give herself to me. So I shouldn't expect her to be tainted or
Okay.
spoiled by the
Okay.
time I got there.
Okay.
So if our little kid is a flower girl, a flower boy,
Stop it. Stop it. Don't do that.
see, they tossing flowers and stuff. The purity is now gone because why? The little boy and little girl walking down the aisle throwing flowers and throwing other stuff. So why perpetrate
It's our child, though.
It is. It's our
It's
child.
our child.
But still, how you gonna wear a white dress?
You took the purity away from. It's
No, you gave it to it. You gave the period.
Okay.
Okay. It was a give and take.
No, it was a gift. I gifted it to you. Okay. Then you took your gift. Okay. And now we're going to reenact it, I guess. I'm wearing this white dress because I don't even get a chance to wear white at any other point in life. Like,
Yeah,
when
you know
do
what?
I get to wear something like white?
You could,
Why you want to take that from us?
that's a good point. I mean, I would hate to pour that from you. It just seems so. I don't use the term sacrilegious, but it's almost like, oh, look at this version. This beautiful woman walking all this white. Look at her. Whoo, it's just the white is just. Everybody look like, she ain't no damn virgin. Look at her.
So what color would you suggest?
Off white.
Oh, okay.
I'll say off white.
Okay.
Because off white is you're not pure. In the term,
You're being petty at this. He's being petty at this point.
you're not pure.
Give me a little taint. Give me a little tainted on the dress.
Yeah, so
off white.
Yeah,
Drop a
so
little bit of
off-white,
mud on it.
Just a little bit, just so you're a little
So
tainted.
everybody know what you did to me. That's why. That's
Well, they already know the baby walking in. The baby walking, tossing flowers, talking about, oh, look at that baby walking in. Because you know somebody going to say, what the hell is she wearing a white dress for? She done got 5 kids and everything about five kids, about 6 different dudes. Look at that. What the hell is she wearing a white for?
Oh, man.
So you're like, okay, it's how you I don't know how we digress to the white dress. But I think as long as you're trying to make each other a complete unit, I guess that's ultimately what needs to happen. But women, y'all need to tell what y'all want, because we're not going. First of all, again, if I keep getting the milk, I'm not gonna keep asking where the milk coming from. I'm gonna keep saying thank you for the milk.
Thank you
I
for
appreciate
running
it.
from that topic. Thank you. That was cute because you got my jaws hurt. Wow. Laughed so hard. Thank you.
I'm
Run
sorry.
from the subject.
We're
We're wearing white, ladies.
Okay.
We're still wearing white, and yeah, with our kids. Did that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, with the
sorry.
kids.
Yes, we are.
And rightfully so. But you know,
But why? Why will you not show up? Because I'm all that in a bag of chips, right? And you got me, and we're married, and we're not married, and we have this house. Why do you not want to go that? Why I have to require that? Why are you not afraid that somebody else is going to come snatch me up?
well, here's the thing.
But listen, and a bag of chips. I'm all that and a bag of chips.
Listen, you're all that in a bag of chips, but you know what? You're all that in a bag of chips in my house. You live with me. You're not living on your own.
Okay.
So to me, I'm like, oh, well, she's committed to me. So in my head,
so you don't see any threats.
now if you live
That's
with
what
me,
you're
no,
saying.
I don't.
Okay.
Now if you have your own spot, there's always a possibility. You know, I call. Man, you ain't there. What the hell she at? She ain't with me. She ain't home. So what's going on? So now you start to think the crazy way. You gonna get in your car like, I know she gotta be over there. Maybe the phone. And you tell yourself, maybe the phone died.
Okay.
You know, maybe.
Don't come to my house. Go to Jared's. You need to go. Don't come to my
no.
house. You better go to Jared's to get that ring.
I tell you what may happen. If I go to your house, I don't see your car there. I'm like, wait a minute.
The thought process.
She didn't tell me she was going on. She told me you could be home, and now your car gone. Now I'm running crazy like, oh, shoot, who's y'all with? That now.
But if you could just go home, pull up, she at home, it's y'all home, y'all share the home.
We're good.
You okay? You don't
good
have
with
to
that.
take a trip to Jared's.
I ain't got to worry about it because I'm good because, again, you're there.
Okay.
You really took it out of my hand because, again, you're not making me work for it because I'm there. I wake up, you're there. I go sleep, you're there. So, and you're not saying nothing. So I'm like, hey, you must be happy. So
you must be committed.
You got to be committed to me. So, like, cool. I ain't got to go through all that and, blah, blah, blah. Now, the moment you say, listen, I need a ring, depending on who he is, I mean, if you're a guy that says, I'm waiting for her to say something, he may even be that guy that says, I'm going to buy a ring. Okay. He may somehow pull it on you. I use 8 years as an example because within 8 years, you should pretty much know if she's the person or not the person. Because
still decided.
Still decide. And what if she's the one? Well, at that point, if you bring it up to a guy, most guys will probably say, you know what? Let me go ahead and do the right thing. Another guy may say, well, why now? And when you hear that, why now? He never was gonna marry you.
Oh.
Probably wasn't gonna make you his wife. So now you're throwing a curveball in the situation. So now you're like, oh, she want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Mm. Now he gonna hit you with, well, what kind of ring you want? I know you want a big one. I know you want a big one because that's gonna buy me some time. Said, I know I ain't got but so much money. So if she want a 2-carat ring, that's gonna be about 10, 15. Yeah, whew, girl, I gotta work overtime. So maybe a year. You gonna buy some time.
Okay. Up front?
Up front, you gonna buy some time. Because you don't want just any. You have all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, I can't have any ring.
I can't give you one that you got to put a magnifying glass to. Oh, I see that. I see that carat. Woo, I see it. No, you want somebody so your girls, bang, they just bounce off the light and just blind your girlfriends like, oh God, what?
Oh,
the
you
heck?
know how to pick them.
There
Good
you
job.
go.
Good
Because
job.
the other thing is, you want to front in front of your girls.
Do we have to floss for our lady friends? I don't know.
Think about it.
Don't
Listen-
accuse me of such a thing.
Okay, let's say you have 5 friends.
5.
And everybody in their different relationships, they all maybe somebody's dating, somebody's with someone, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, you come out there with the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other 4 looking at you like.
But I didn't show it to them now.
You didn't show it to them?
They just so happened to see it because I was like, I was like this. I was like, hey, y'all. And
Oh, yeah, but you threw the hand up. Hey, y'all.
I did.
So now, girl, you got that?
This whole
And now you're going to have problems because now that guy's going to have a problem because now you're going to say, how's the man going to get married and get a ring?
thing. Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to start calculating, wait a minute, she been with him. You've been with him for 4 years. I've
Yeah.
been with this dude for 6 years. He ain't give me nothing.
So I'm creating problems.
You're creating problems. 'Cause
Whoa.
when you get home, when they get home,
Mm-hmm.
what you doing? He gonna get caught off guard. He gonna be sitting there with some Fritos in his lap, looking at the Wizards game or looking at a Golden State Warriors game.
That's what he normally do.
Normally doing, just sitting there with his drawers on, eating some chips, drinking some beer. Boom, where a ring at? What? We talking about where a ring at? My girl got her ring. I've been with, and listen, her man was on with her. Halftime, you with me. When we gonna make this right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what? Why I gotta do with us? Isn't our stuff working out perfectly?
Mm-hmm.
Are we good? Well,
Okay.
we were good until I saw that ring.
Yeah.
So now I don't want to feel like I'm being left out of the situation. So then you cause a problem with your girls. And now that's going to change the relationship because they're going to be like, she getting married now, then she's going to start hanging with other married people, and we ain't
Yeah.
married, and blah, blah, blah.
Because I can't keep hanging out with y'all single ladies trying to do single girl stuff. I mean, where they do that at? I gotta find my married. I'm getting married now.
Oh,
I
Lord.
gotta find out.
You're going to be married now. Oh, Lord.
I'm married now.
Yeah,
I got
see.
to find my married couple friends who want to
See.
do couple friend stuff.
See, and
That's how we started off as the growth. Now I
There
gotta
you
find
go.
a new set of friends.
You got to find a new set of friends, and
Uh-huh.
that whole growth, and that's part of it because that growth is going to be uncomfortable for everybody.
Absolutely.
Not only just you, but now the people around you.
Uh-huh.
So now you have to deal with that, and how we start. They're starting funny because the other thing is about men. We're creatures of habit.
Okay.
We pretty much do the same damn thing constantly. We mess up because you say, wait a minute, he's shaving on Tuesdays now. He only shaves on Thursdays. Why he shaving on Tuesdays and Thursdays? And wait a minute, why he getting all dressed up now? Why he care about how he look now when he go outside? Why you do this? Because we're creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see that, you know that something is awry. And that's when you got to ask that question, what's going on? And, now he don't answer your phones anymore. He don't, he a little bit, they got me busy
Now
at work.
he busy?
He busy at work.
Ah,
Got me busy.
he used to be available at work.
No, he busy now.
Now
He
all of a
busy.
sudden he got the same job. Now all of a sudden he busy at
Yep.
work. Got some
Busy.
nerve.
I got work. In fact, my boss looking at me crazy saying, get off the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't mess my money up.
Mm.
So, if he start acting that way, you probably need to find out what's going on because that means something has changed. But that goes back to it. You hear the stories of women who be with guys for a long time, never, do all the stuff together. Then one day he leaves. And then you're like, I can't believe he left me. Then in about 6 months, he got married. The same dude that didn't marry you for 10 years, in 6 months, he got married. And then you
I
pissing the
did
bitch.
everything right. I just want to start off that with I did everything right.
In fact, you did. You did
Mhm.
everything right for him. For him.
Just not-
Until not for you. For him. Which goes back
Ouch.
to You have to know your worth.
Uh-huh.
You have to know your worth. Because if you don't know your worth, then you won't be able to be played like that.
Yeah.
Because, again,
you
you're
would have
happy.
made that requirement a long time ago.
Exactly. Now you're mad. But you
No,
can't.
I'm mad.
Oh, yeah, you super
already
mad.
know.
You about to bust the windows out of his
Yeah.
car, man. You about
Because
to
I
cut
found
his
out because I
tires.
saw an invitation through a mutual friend.
Oh.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he getting married now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you, like, well, when this happened?
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, he just found somebody who basically made him man up.
Mm-hmm.
You never made him man up.
Mm-mm.
Because, again, you just let him be happy with whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You accepted. Then he was like, you know what? This ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lost feelings or whatever I have for you. So now you just look for a reason to get out this relationship.
Yeah, because sometimes we just buying time. Yeah.
Buying time.
So
And
we
women
could
do it
to
too.
where it's not messy. Too messy, right? I want to find, like, let them down easy. Not during the holiday.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. When women's a little different because if that dude's really into you and you do that to him, that could come back to, he could be crazy. He could be that crazy dude you never even recognized he was crazy until that happens. Because
I hate it. I'm gonna just say that I hate it.
He could be that crazy
your sanity is somehow dependent on me.
dude. Yes.
Like, my sanity is never dependent on you.
See, we again, it's hard for men to be emotional because we're brought up not to be emotional. We're brought up to suck. If you get hit by a bus, you better walk it off.
Yeah.
you hop around, you be all right.
I have the potential to snap.
Oh yeah.
That's what you're
Oh yeah.
So
if you don't know, if you don't know yourself, and all of a sudden you start to put ownership on you, because to be honest, we think of you. A lot of us, I can't say all, but a lot of us think of you as possessions, women as possessions. It's like your car, my jewelry,
So now
my
I'm
woman.
I'm your stuff.
Nobody
a
wants,
woman.
nobody
Yeah.
wants to see their woman in somebody else's car. Nobody wants to see their woman. That's my woman. But you didn't want to do what you had to do to keep her your
Yeah.
woman.
She not even yours no more. Somehow you were still claiming her.
Still claiming her.
Okay.
And that goes back to being honest, talking to each other, and find what do we do in relationships. What who are we hanging around? Who are our friends? What are we doing? You always, every once in a while, you should just get up one day and look around and say, "What the hell am I doing?" Just say it out loud. Just stay in the middle of the kitchen and say, "What the hell am I doing?" And that will make you say, "Let me look around. What am I doing? Okay, this is going well. This is not. I don't know why this person hanging around. Why am I hanging with this person? And why are these people hanging around me?" Because you ask yourself, that kind of snaps you out of the spell that you're in. Because again, this is life. We walk through life and we do what we do. We're cool with it. We're happy with it. At some point, you gotta slap yourself into reality and say, I'm comfortable. I don't ever want to be comfortable, because if I'm comfortable, I'm sliding backwards.
Okay.
And everyone should do that.
Yeah.
And especially you should, in relationships, you gotta make sure. Someone said one time, if you get married, I don't think you shouldn't even have arguments. Okay, you're going to have a lot of arguments when you get married, because the sake of being married, two different personalities.
I mean, when you just go through life,
Yes.
right? Life has different curveballs, and you're going to kind of, respond to them different. How could you not have an argument in a marriage?
But
We care.
But those are people who never seen healthy relationships.
Okay.
You talk to guys. She should be this. I'm thinking, oh, you look into Waltons. That shit don't exist. That you have to talk to her. You got to know her feelings. Yeah, you got to talk to her, know where she's coming from. She didn't know your feelings, where you're coming from. You got to be honest. Because, again, if you're not honest, now you're living a lie. Because eventually,
I mean, that's the growth right there, too, right? Being willing to communicate, to take us to, sometimes the communication is not necessarily to take us to the next level, right? Sometimes the communication is for us to identify that, hey, where we at is where we're going to stay. Let's leave it right here and move on, or let's go to the next level, But there's still a bit of growth to say, and just that constant communicating with each other, right?
And I think especially when you talk with young people, I guess, young meaning anybody in their 20s and early 30s. They're still new to the dating game and trying to understand the game and all that stuff. So for them, I don't know if they have a clear view on what they're looking for. I think in their head, society says that I should be married, I should have kids, blah, 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 at a certain age. but that maybe not how you feel.
Mhm.
So I don't know if who do they talk to if they have a question. Let's say they got parents who ain't married.
Mhm.
It's like, so where do they go? Because I hear a lot of young people like, well, I came from my mama raised me or my daddy raised me, and I see what they going through and blah blah blah. Is that how it is? And
I haven't a clue.
no.
Because generally, well, not generally, a lot of times you're going to see um, a single, the mom who raised their child by themselves
Mm-hmm.
is the grandma and grandpa together type
Mhm.
of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not normally. And so you do wonder, where do you go for guidance?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go to kind of see that ideal look of what the relationship looks like?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the consensus is you don't. You
Wow.
just don't. And technically, when we say, where do you get that information from? TV,
Oh God.
movies.
Oh God.
When you look at ideal relationships, I'm sorry. Can I do it? The Huxtables?
No, not the Huxtables.
I mean,
Oh
come
Lord.
on. When you think about those TV relationships, because for some people, the dad on TV, what is it, Uncle Phil,
Mm-hmm.
might have been that's Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. That's the marriage you saw.
This is true.
The Huxtables, that's the marriage you saw. Even I can't remember the cop off of Family Matters. What was his name? The Winslows.
Winslows.
I mean I love their relationship. That's number
Yes.
one.
And you can't forget Good Times.
Absolutely.
James in Florida.
Yeah. So you did see some interactions as far as a marriage is concerned on TV. If you didn't see that in your household,
Mm-hmm.
or in the neighbor's household, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
it was on TV. And those few relationships
true.
you saw, probably all you got. I mean, we hear it in the
God.
rap songs nowadays, as the guys reference Uncle Phil. Yeah, that's
Yes.
all some of them had was a TV dad, because I didn't have a real dad. And so when you think about guys who only had a TV dad,
Mm-hmm.
that means they also had the TV marriage,
Yeah,
right? Because it's
Yep.
all that you then had
that's true.
to see that interaction.
That is very true. That's very true.
And if that's all you saw, you missed a lot of elements of a marriage.
So that in turns brings us to the issues we have right now.
Mhm.
Since you don't have the true background of how a marriage should work or a relationship should work, then what do you look for out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Or more than what do you look for, what do you understand as acceptable behavior?
mm-hmm.
I had a young guy who spoke to me, and he spoke about the ladies princess like mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the sense that the fathers perhaps have groomed the ladies to have a mindset that they're supposed to be receiving and been taken care of like a princess,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very nice and noble mindset and thought process, right?
Exactly.
But is that realistic? What I said earlier when it talks about a give and take, if a
Yeah.
woman is groomed and thought of to just take because somebody has convinced you that that's what a princess does, she's just spoiled and given to. But that's not what princess, real life, that's a job. You have to take
Exactly.
care of the people who you serve. And it's like the expectations when you walk into
Mm-hmm.
these relationships.
And that goes back to a real conversation that needs to happen.
Mhm.
Because you look at it, she wants to be a princess, he wants to be a prince. There's certain things you should respect each other.
He doesn't
And-
even want to be a prince, so to speak. He just wanted to be a man in a regular relationship.
Oh well,
and
yeah,
he don't even know what's going. Like he likes the young, the
yeah.
guys like the young ladies,
But it's that
right?
mentality that they come
Yeah,
in with.
and it's like because from what I understood, the male in that specific situation understands that there is a bit of a representative
Mhm.
that we all kind of start off with, right? And
Mhm.
perhaps the princess concept is your representative to kind of gauge, you know, where this man's head is at, make sure he treats me nicely, make sure he has the means to properly take care of me. The thing about that is, when does that come off? How can the
Yeah.
man just give and feed into? Because a prince,
Mhm.
because I'm raising princes also, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh no, they're very taken care of. They're
Mhm.
very much so catered to.
Mhm.
And so last time I checked, the same person who caters to a prince in a castle,
Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
caters to the princess.
Mhm.
The prince does not cater to and feed the fire of the princess, right? They're not your
No.
servant,
No.
right? So it's a weird expectation going on. And right now, I'm speaking from my brother's perspective, right? Kind of on
Mhm.
their back, where it's just like a false expectation coming into
Yeah.
the relationship. I guess is where I'm trying to get to. That there's
Yeah.
that very false expect. Even though we want to build our ladies up to not settle for any old thing,
Yes. Yes.
where do we find that good balance, right?
That goes. I tell you what. You have to have a healthy, strong self-esteem.
Mhm.
Everybody should have that, both men and women. But that being the case doesn't mean that everyone needs to cater to you.
Mhm.
You carry yourself in such a way that you're strong, you're independent, you're self-sufficient. But you want someone to open the door for you. You want
Absolutely.
someone to, take you to a nice restaurant and treat you well. That doesn't mean that someone has to cow down to you per se,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
respect you as you respect them. It's a respect thing, actually. It's not even about I expect you to do this for me. You should say, you know what? If reverse something happens, maybe something's wrong with your card. I'll pay for dinner, but I know that he's gonna feel a certain way, like I can't have my woman paying for it. I got her next time.
Yeah.
But you have to know you're dealing with that kind of guy,
Yeah.
because you really know the kind of guy you're dealing with. I mean, you talk to him, you kind of, after you get by the initial, I think he's this way, I think he's that way. When you put that guard down, what you see is what you see.
Mhm.
And then you're going to understand that he's either going to be that kind of guy who's going to take care of you no matter what, or he's that guy you got kind of grab. Can I get 15 cents to get a stick of gum? 15
Yeah.
cents? You need 15 cents?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this guy is going to be, I'm going to be pulling teeth from him. And then you understand that if he's that way, he may have some other quirks with him too. But if he supports you in a way where you don't need for anything, or he takes care of you that in that particular way,
Mhm.
hey, you gonna keep this guy around because that's his little. Everybody has a quirk. Everybody has their little isms.
Absolutely.
But if you expect him to cow down to you every time, listen, I want them red bottoms over there.
Uh huh.
No, the dude can't afford red bottoms, but
Yeah.
you want them. But he loves you enough that you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get in debt to get you some red bottoms,
Uh huh.
and you don't even need them.
Yeah.
You want to see, oh well, see if he'll buy them for me. Then at that point, you got to evaluate: are you in this relationship for all the right reasons or all the wrong reasons? If you're in this for see what this guy, you can mooch off this guy. To me, it's when you know his situation. Let's say he don't make no money, but you ask for red bottoms.
I mean, he gave them.
Of course
Y'all
he
trying
would.
to call us out there for mooching.
you
No,
got
that
to
is
be.
ridiculous. I
And,
mean,
and
I guess
again,
that right there reminds me of one of our conversations when I spoke to why the guy continues to take from the broken woman that he knows is broken, right?
mm-hmm,
That's kind of like the female version of
mm-hmm,
it, right? You
mm-hmm,
kind of take away from this man who can't give, but he's
into you.
yeah, because he wants the emotional side of it.
Yes.
And you're just taken. You've become the taker.
You now have given. This is called a crumb relationship now.
Mhm.
And what I mean by crumb relationship is you give him just enough
Yeah.
love
To
to
keep
keep him
him.
thinking that, this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
But really, just give them crumbs
Yeah.
and
Just enough to get what you need.
just enough.
Until you're ready to kind of cut them off, cut them loose. Yeah.
And to me, that is
Kind of the worst.
the worst.
Yeah.
On both sides.
On both,
If
yeah,
it's-
because
if
the
it's-
men do it too.
men do it all
we
the
just
time.
do it. We each do it different
Yes.
because we show up for different things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And crumb relationships hurts everybody because once that relationship is over, it will be over.
It
Now,
will be over.
It will be over.
Yeah.
And now you have to deal with the aftermath.
Absolutely.
So now he looks at women like she gonna be like such, which goes back to baggage. Everyone should learn from the relationships, but don't carry it in a bag as a symbol of a badge of honor. Oh, I've been hurt and I've been treated bad and blah blah blah. Really, nobody gives a damn. Because everyone has their own badge or story of hurt and woe. You should learn from it. So learn from the next relationship. Don't be a putz. Don't be an easy touch. Don't be a giver. See what she's offering. If she ain't offering nothing, what you giving something for?
Yeah.
But I think right now people just want some sort of connection right now. And I don't know. It goes back to really understanding yourself. People got to get back to saying who truly am I? Not what society tells me, not what I think I am, but who am I? What makes me tick? And I think once people do that, once people really understand who they are, we can actually have more healthier relationships, more healthier conversations. But everybody's scared, and especially if you get older. Oh Lord, you get older, it's like I should have known the answers. I'm 40 years old. I should know. I don't need anybody telling me nothing.
Yeah.
Until you realize you in the same situation you was 40 that you was in your 30s, and now you're 40 now, and you're like, well, when is this going to change? It's not going to change until you change, which means you gotta do the dirty work. You gotta say, okay,
you gotta be willing to grow.
You have to be willing to grow, and you gotta look at the people around you. If you look at the people around you and they haven't changed, that means you haven't changed. There's people literally who have not changed in years, forever. You said they gotten older, gotten fatter, maybe gotten skinnier, but still the same person.
Right.
And they just as happy, but yet it's like they accept their happiness. It's like, this is all I know, and this is how I'm going to be. And that's not the case, because if you're accepting where you are, you stop growing. You stop. You just say, I'm happy with having somebody, part-time. I mean, come on now. You got people with part-time people.
What's part-time? No, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting that.
Part-time people are people that fit you in when you can get in. So he may be in a relationship. Okay. He may be married. Okay. He may be doing some other things. So, we're like, hey, I can come in there, and hang out with you in my time. And he's going to give you just enough time. He don't give you a lot of time because he has time. He got to spend with his main woman, his wife, whatever. But you happy getting something.
He got a lot of them.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you happy.
He's part-time.
He take you out. Oh, we going out to dinner tonight. But after that, after you go and knock them boots, he gone. He gone.
True.
Girl, he gone. And you sitting there waiting for the phone call. He going to call me again. Look at your phone. He going to call me again. He'll call you at some point when he finds some time for you.
Next part-time. He's going to hit you
part-time.
He's part-time and stick around for years.
Oh, my God. And women don't have to cheapen themselves like that. They have to really understand where they are.
Some women don't have a lot of time.
Oh, Lord. Oh, come on.
No, I'm sorry.
Time.
Some of them don't have a lot of time. They like part-timers. I said they be around for years.
And what happens, again, we go back to your good years. Because again, you start to eat into your good years.
It does.
And, you get into your 40s, 30s, 40s, and all of a sudden now you're looking.
You're looking for a high-valued man now. That's
and again, that's your downfall. You don't look for quality men. Don't worry about high value. Don't worry about any of that, because those guys live their lives a different way. And again,
cultivated themselves a different way.
Exactly. So they're not really looking for the type of woman that you think. Well, they're looking for me.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I mean, if you go to the golf club, when I go to a golf club, I don't see a whole bunch of knuckleheads out there.
Mhm.
I see people out there who, we had conversation, finance, economics, political,
Groomed in a
politics.
certain area.
Yes,
Yeah.
women, and you had those kind of conversations, which is different from the conversation you have with someone in a salon or barber shop or anywhere else.
A little more substance.
Yes, yes, and those guys don't. They want somebody who's gonna be able to screw their mind.
Right back. Yeah,
Screw
because
their mind
they
back.
coming for you.
They're coming
They
for
gonna
you,
come for you.
and they're gonna test you. And the moment you look at them crazy, you start talking about inflation and politics and all that stuff. They're gonna look at you like well, what the hell is that? And at that point, they're like, They done took you from one level to another level, and not a good level, but because at that level,
'cause
it's like
now you're boring to them.
you're boring to
Like,
them.
girl,
You look good,
bye.
but you're
No,
boring.
you do look good now. You wore that dress that night. You
Yes,
did that.
You look good,
did
and I'm gonna
that,
take you
girl.
out. We're gonna go certain places, but I'm not gonna take you to the places that you think we're gonna go to.
No, I can't.
No,
No, because you got to be able to talk the talk when you're around a certain group of people.
they'll test you.
Yeah.
They will sit there and
in
they'll
a
ask you
smaller
some questions.
setting, because
Oh,
you're not going to embarrass me anywhere.
And they can't wait to talk to you.
Yeah.
The guys can't wait to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
And some simple questions to find where you are
Yeah.
in the
The
pecking
quick,
order.
it's called gauging her.
Ah,
Let me gauge her because we love to gauge the men.
yes,
That's what we all do.
you have to,
That's
because you
what
gotta
we
see.
all do.
Nobody wants to say I have a dumb girlfriend or dumb wife or dumb man or dumb husband. You
No,
want to?
I mean, we'll take a few dull knives though.
Yeah, you may be a little dull, a little confused.
You know, we like to sharpen them up, so to speak, sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not a high valued woman.
No.
Yeah.
No.
At least I don't think. I
No.
don't know.
God, and how this is if guys make six figures and make six figures, run businesses, run things. People answer to them. There's a certain mindset that they are used to when they want to talk, and they don't want to feel like they have to dumb down their conversation for anyone, because to them, why should I dumb down anything?
Yeah.
You should be able, if you're saying you're high value, if you're saying, and I hate that damn term high value, but if you're saying that you are top tier, then you know about you know all the discussions we should have about top tier.
You should.
You should hear. You should know. It's like if you go and order a steak, you should know the wine that goes at the particular steak. You should be like, well, what we having? Oh, we having scrimp tonight? Oh God, scrimp. That's it. Oh, you're going home. That's it. We're finished. Yep, it's been great. I'm gonna call you every now and then if I take you to Red Lobster and get some scrimp. Brother, that.
So you don't want to take me out because I can't pronounce shrimp. That's what you said. I gotta go back.
No. You mess up some words.
We could do DoorDash or Netflix.
That's it. There's DoorDash and Netflix. That's it. Because that's going to explain to me where you are. And if you're not that, I don't want to even say illiterate. It's not even illiterate. If you don't have that skill, don't go there. Some people use the words just trying to impress people, but you don't know how you use the words. Like,
yes.
No, don't do that.
Yes, just don't use it.
Don't do it.
Just
I
don't use
respect you better. Just go ahead and talk to me normally, and we can go from there. But that's what these guys are looking for. They're looking for those type of women. And again, it's not about I got this or I got that. These guys want to know when they come in there with you on their arm that people can look at you and say, "Hey, he got something." That's man. She good. So now you're in like Flint, because if you're not, he's never gonna bring you. So that's the thing I think a lot of women need to understand.
I think that's fair though.
But a lot of women keep thinking, because they look a certain way, they have kids and all that, they should be with this kind of guy, but they don't understand the mentality of that guy. And again, it's not about it should never be about her looks or any of that. But guys that make that kind of money, if you look at that money, they think differently. It's like they're having discussions about crypto. They're having discussions about how to make more money. How do we do certain things? This is a general conversation that we have. And if you're bored, if you're sitting there like, oh my God, what the hell are they talking about? Then they're gonna look at you. They're not gonna. They'll never say the people that they're dealing with will never say anything to him at the table, but in private, who the hell is that? Man, she don't know nothing. That goddamn, she don't know a goddamn
You
thing.
gonna let your girlfriends talk about me over brandy? That's what y'all-
Over brandy and a nice cigar. Then we're gonna sit back. We're gonna smoke. We're gonna say, man, she's beautiful. Yeah, man, but she lacked when it came to a lot of other things, man.
Listen to a few
Just a
few
few.
subjects.
Yeah,
So short.
and then you gotta ask yourself the question,
Mhm.
like, am I willing to keep her around? Am I willing to teach her?
Mhm.
Um, if
That's
she
a
has
lot of stuff to be taught, though. Like,
but if you're a guy who's a good guy, and
mhm.
forget high value, a good guy who really wants somebody to be with him, someone he can grow with. You may not be where he's at, but he
Mhm.
may say, you know what? You see the qualities in you that make him want to say, you know what? I think I can be where we can grow together. So that means he's willing to take the opportunity and the chance to teach you and bring you around to friends. And if your friends start seeing you around, then they realize, oh, she's not one and done. She's actually going to be here,
Mhm.
and they're going to respect you for that.
Mhm.
And now they're going to go out their way to explain things and stuff.
So
to
now
you.
we're growing together.
Now we're growing together.
Right
But
back there.
you have to understand that if you're not there, don't go there and try to perpetrate. Don't go there and you
Mhm.
hear him talking, you want to throw 2 cents, and you do better by saying nothing. If you just sit there and nod and you sip and you nod, interesting, okay. And then what you need to do is do your homework after that, because the other
Mhm.
thing is you may talk about that later
Now
on.
you gotta brush up a little
Hey,
bit. You better come
you
prepared.
better
to try
come
and hang out with
prepared.
this crowd.
You better come there
Absolutely.
because they test you.
Mhm.
It's a testing thing, and so when you want to be in that world, they're gonna test you to be in that world. It's just the way it is. So I'm telling all these beautiful women out here that's looking for that damn high value, good guy who happens to make good money.
Mhm.
That's kind of what you're going to deal with, because those are real conversations that happen. I mean, we won't say it in front of you again, but we would talk to them like, man, she's nice. Where's she from? Where's she from? Where she go to school at? What she do for a living? These are
Mhm.
things that we're gonna
Again defining us by. Mhm.
exactly. And to say she good enough to be here, to yourself, you would never tell him, because
Yeah.
as guys, we won't come out and say, man, I wouldn't hang out with her. She's fine, but man, she got nothing going on.
Mhm.
We won't do that. We just say, hey, you happy? You good?
That's your business.
That's your business, man. I ain't got nothing you don't do with that. But again, if I bring my wife or my significant other and she start rapping and talking to her, because what's going to happen is the women are going to meet.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen is when they start
Now,
talking.
we're gonna start judging.
And when,
Yeah.
baby, I didn't know she was that dumb.
Yeah.
What
no.
do you mean
'Cause
dumb?
I didn't know. Like she was super pretty. I thought she was just as smart as she was pretty, and then she started talking, and he was, oh God, okay.
Exactly.
Like, what is he doing with her? Okay.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So,
True.
that's kind of, for women, just, again, learn who you are.
Mhm.
And once you know who you are and love who you are, or don't love who you are and make the change, we love that. Guys, we want to see you
You
trying
said
to grow.
don't know.
Don't know who you are, because, again, so many women become, and a lot of people in general, just
Mhm.
become, they just chameleons.
Okay.
And they become chameleons, and they keep changing, that eventually they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Because you've changed so much for so many people.
Mhm.
Who are you? What you want me to be?
Mhm.
I want you to be you.
Defined by your relationship, in other words.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
defined by your relationship rather than anything else. Because that's what ultimately you want. I want her.
Mhm.
And what makes her? She's great personality. She has a great smile. She's loving heart. She she treat people well. She respects people. That's what you're buying. You're buying that. You're not buying the look, because over time things change. A lot of things can happen: accident, disease, anything. So you just based on how she looked, and that's it. You don't have anything. You have to love who she is internally, but she has to know who she is. Because if she's been adjusting herself to everybody else, you start asking those hard questions, she can't give you the answers because she doesn't know who she is. So women need to take that time. And, a lot of people talking about, my esteem is low, blah, blah, blah. Get up every day and just look in the mirror and say, I love myself. You are loved. You deserve love, and you deserve respect. You can, and that's not something you just say, I can't do it every day. When you get up and brush your teeth, take a shower, put your clothes on, sitting in the car, just tell yourself every single day that I love myself, I deserve to be loved, and, I'm not settling for anything less. Just keep doing that. And over time, you start to believe it, because that's what you have to build a habit. Because if enough people tell you when you're little, you're ugly, you're stupid like such and such, that sticks with you. That's the trauma that's just with a lot
So
of
you're
women.
saying reprogramming.
Have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And when you do that, then you're going to say, okay, I start doing things for myself. I start to eat right. I start to carry myself a certain with my head up. I just carry myself a particularly way. And that's what you have to do. And if you do that, you start seeing the circle change. Because people who really want to be around you to use you won't be around you long because your mindset is different.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that way anymore. Then, girl, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? Wait, you mess with somebody? Listen, I'm just loving myself. Hey, you act like that before, and now all of a sudden she gonna have a problem with you. You start dressing up, looking a certain way, doing a certain thing.
Mm-hmm. Now you're trying to be too fancy.
You're too
now
fancy.
You're the fancy one
bougie.
in the group.
Or
Yeah,
now you
the
ain't trying
bougie
to be
one in
better
the
than you.
group.
No, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. And I think if a lot of people really do that work and understand that you have to do the work to become happy and to become who you're going to become, then it'd be a lot easier. Then we can just go ahead and say, hey, let's just work on ourselves. You have to work on yourself every day too. It's not once in a while. And, I feel good now. No, it's consistently. You have to be consistent about telling yourself how you love yourself and make the changes you need to make. You got to change some of your bonehead friends. Change them. If you can't, you ain't got to talk. If your parents are the one that tearing you down, don't talk to them either. Hey, mama, daddy, you tearing me down. I can't have that. Come on now.
In other words, make the real decisions and choices needed for the change.
Real decisions,
Right.
and that means you're gonna stumble on a lot of feelings, but it doesn't matter. The only feeling that really matters is yours. You're not telling them to go screw themselves. You're just saying I'm gonna work on unscrewing myself. So, I don't know how you go. I don't really care how you take it because I'm a grown person who had to live with myself.
Mm-hmm.
When I get up every day, I have to look at myself in the mirror. I have to carry myself in this world a certain way. I can't worry about mama. If I think this way, mama gonna think a certain way. Doesn't really matter because they raised you. How again? Best way they could. And if you realize I gotta change something, change it. That's good. And it may happen when you're in a relationship. You may realize that ain't the dude for me. Because when you realize, you start looking at yourself, say, damn, why am I in this relationship? He ain't really the guy I want. He served a purpose when I was that person. I'm now this person.
As you grew.
And you got to say, I got to get out of this, which means it goes back to communication, which a lot of people don't do. A lot of people don't communicate. They just assume,
Because it's not easy. You just referenced the relationship. You grew. Somebody didn't grow. And then you were just like, hey, let's sit down and talk about how I'm going to exit this situation.
Yes.
You were purposeful before.
Yep.
You're just not purposeful now.
Exactly. Because you
So
grow.
you just like politely let them go.
You have to.
Real polite. That's
and it may not go as easy, but you're going to have
that's
to.
it right there.
It
That's
may
it right
be
there.
a
It's just not
problem.
going to go as easy.
Yeah, and you gotta be cool with that, and you have to. Well, you should understand the person. If the person that you're having this conversation with is really invested in you, then you're like, okay, this ain't a.
Because you have to understand when we're referencing growth, right?
Yep.
There was some time there, right? So they better be vested, I'm assuming. But
Yeah.
sit them down. Like you said them. You said it. Sit them down.
Sit them down, have a conversation with them, and then you have to separate that, which is again hard. But that's what you have to do.
Just
though.
necessary.
You have to. Or you'll live your life in misery.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to live miserable? People live miserable. People drink, get high, shoot drugs, do all that stuff just because their ass is miserable. Look, I can't say no other way their ass is miserable. And then we go every goddamn day with a fifth. Talking about, damn,
It take
Monday.
away the misery. That's what they say.
Yes. People can live in a liquor store and get tight. Because they're miserable. People. Last year was the highest number of overdose ever. More people committed overdose last year than before. Now, of course, it was a lot that had to do with the crazy pandemic that's going on, but also then when people be by themselves, you got to be by yourself. You could go work. You could go work, laugh at your crazy friend at work, come home and sip a little bit. But now you ain't got to go work. You're home every day. Now you look at your life. You say, oh, my God, my life is going to hell in a handbasket. What the hell am I living this fake-ass life for? I'm barely making ends meet. My girl don't like me. I don't like the people I'm
You
hanging
ain't
around.
just found that out.
You drink, see, but going to work and sipping at home,
Yeah.
you kind of push that off. Now you're
Yeah.
home. You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
now you
Lord.
gotta deal with it.
I got to deal with me.
Uh-huh.
I got to deal with me now. I can't just hide from me. I got to deal
Yes.
with me. So now
Yes.
I'm miserable. And I got to drink, I mean, every day. I got a nip. I got to drink a fifth. I got to do something because I'm miserable. Or
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot somebody. And I don't want to shoot nobody. I just got to figure out in my head what's going on.
Mhm.
But,
Mhm.
you know, these are things people have to do. You have to go and reach out for help. You know, a lot of people reach out for church. Hey, if it works for you,
They
that's
was
fine.
closed
Then
too for some time now.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you can't reach the church.
Your
Now
weekly recharge space. Yeah.
now you can't do that. So you just wallowing in your world, and it's like, damn, what do I do?
Mhm.
And people right now, as we're talking this, somebody got a fifth in their hand right now saying, God damn, you right, you right.
Mhm.
So what I need to do? You need to figure out where are you in the scan of cracked, broken, shattered.
Mhm.
And once you understand that, then you can start putting in that work. So, but people got to start doing the work. People don't want to do the work, but you got to do the work to get it better. You have to. You have to, which means you got to look around you. You got to change things around you, and you got to make that change. Hard, but you got to do it.
It is hard. It is hard. I don't think most of us want anything that's easy.
No, you can't use a pill. A pill's not going to solve this problem.
Mhm.
A shot not going to solve this problem. It's actually doing the work I said in the very first episode. You have to sit down and get a notepad or journal. Write down what you want. What do you really want in your life? Right now, where are you and where you want to go? That's the first thing you have to write down. Not in your head, because
Right.
your head is too much going on. You got too much noise in your head anyway. So you need to write this down. And then once you write it down, you can come with a plan. You got to have a plan. You got to have a mission, a vision, and a purpose.
Right.
And you have to lay that down. So that's with everything and everybody. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to everything, people around you. And again, you got to get rid of some people. You got to get rid of them. Again, you have to live with yourself. You have to live with yourself.
Mhm.
And if you can't live with yourself, then you need to do something.
You gotta change, adjust accordingly. In other words.
You have to adjust accordingly, and it's going to take time.
Mhm.
So again, if you get up every morning with some mantras of telling you, you are loved, I am loved, I love myself, and I deserve to be loved. Just say those simple things
Mhm.
every day. If you
Mhm.
write it down in your book, every day you write it down so you can look at it. Say it in the car, and that way, at least you start to change the mindset of you. You start to change how you think about yourself and how you think about your day will go better. Because when you say that to yourself, stuff at work is not going to bother you. People are not going to bother you. Because you're like, listen, I'm not going to allow anybody to get under my skin because nobody's worthy for me to get upset over. I'm not going to spend my time to get upset of something you said because you said something crazy. That's you.
Absolutely.
Why am I have you control me or control my
Absolutely.
thoughts? So, no, like I said, girl, on that point, I'm going to leave everybody with work on yourself.
Yeah.
Handle yourself. Take care of yourself. Put the fifth down. Put down the nips and actually enjoy. Find out what you are. Stop being a chameleon and find out who you really are. So I'm going to say this, another beautiful episode with the T.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Enjoyed you.
My peoples, as I said before, always overcome to become and overcome all to become one.